Imagine sitting completely alone in an empty room. No phone, no music, no television, no books, nothing to do except think. How long do you think you could last? 10 minutes? 15? An hour? Most people believe they would have no problem at all. But in 2014, scientists conducted an experiment that revealed something surprising about human nature. They discovered that many people would rather experience physical pain than sit quietly with their own thoughts. And the reason reaches back hundreds of thousands of years. A world before cities, before money, before civilization. Let's begin with the experiment. Psychologist Timothy Wilson and his team invited volunteers into a quiet room. There were no distractions, no entertainment, no tasks to complete. Participants were simply asked to sit and think for 15 minutes. That's all. Just 15 minutes alone with their minds. Before the experiment started, volunteers were shown a device capable of delivering a mild electric shock. Most immediately said they disliked it. Some even claimed they would pay money to avoid another shock. Then the researchers left them alone. What happened next shocked everyone. Many participants voluntarily pressed the shock button. Again and again. One participant shocked himself nearly 200 times. Think about that for a moment. People knowingly chose pain over silence. But why? The answer begins long before modern life. For almost all of human history, being alone was dangerous. Humans evolved in small tribes, usually between 30 and 150 people. They slept together, traveled together, hunted together, raised children together. Surviving alone was incredibly difficult. A lone human had little protection from predators, little help finding food, no one to share resources, no one to warn of danger. If you became separated from your group, your odds of survival dropped dramatically. Across thousands of generations, the human brain learned a powerful lesson. Together meant safety. Alone meant danger. That ancient survival system still exists inside your brain today. Modern neuroscience reveals something remarkable. When people experience social rejection, many of the same brain regions associated with physical pain become active. In other words, your brain treats exclusion almost like an injury. That's why loneliness hurts. Not metaphorically. Literally. Researchers have found that chronic loneliness increases stress hormones. That raises inflammation throughout the body, and may even increase the risk of early death. Some studies suggest prolonged loneliness can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yet something strange has happened in the modern world. For the first time in history, humans can survive physically while remaining socially isolated. Food can be delivered. Work can happen remotely. Entertainment is available instantly. A person can spend days without meaningful human interaction. But your brain doesn't understand any of that. It still follows ancient rules, rules written long before smartphones, long before apartment buildings, long before the internet. When loneliness appears, your brain activates an alarm. It assumes something may be wrong. It assumes you may be vulnerable. That's why many people instinctively reach for a screen during moments of silence. Not because they're weak, not because they lack discipline, but because their brains evolved to seek connection. And yet, there is one final twist. Ancient humans were rarely alone physically. Modern humans are rarely alone digitally. Yet, both struggle with the same challenge. Being alone with their own thoughts. Around ancient campfires, people filled the darkness with stories, myths, songs, shared memories. Day algorithms often fill that same space. Endless videos, endless notifications, endless distractions. Maybe that's why silence feels uncomfortable. Maybe the feeling isn't a flaw. Maybe it's the voice of a survival system that helped humans survive for hundreds of thousands of years. Yes, a system that still believes complete isolation could be dangerous, even when you're perfectly safe. And perhaps the strangest discovery of all is this. The person most people spend their entire lives avoiding isn't a stranger. It's themselves.